So, um, so for them to like remember multiple lives is a little weirdish, right? To me. Okay. It's magic archery. That gives us more experience. Let's practice our strength. This is another incremental game, so it'll be, at least for the moment, a lot of us talking while stuff goes on in the background. So the Akashic Record, I mentioned it earlier and got sidetracked on everything else. So the Akashic Record, Kaladmir, is the belief that so there's a belief that the entirety of the world's knowledge, the entirety of the universe's knowledge, whether something has been discovered or not, whether something has been invented or not, all of that knowledge is stored away in the Akashic Record. So like future inventions are already stored away in the Akashic Record. Even if it hasn't been invented, it's in the universe. The Akashic Record holds that information. And so the Akashic Record is when people refer to it, it's usually in reference to sometimes the ability to access the Akashic Record. So a lot of inventors, or people that have invented a lot of things, they often say that ideas just came to them, sometimes in a dream, or they would like zone out, and then an idea would just come to them, like fully formed, and they would just put it on paper and just here's the invention, right? And so the belief is that all of this information is already out there in the universe, and it's a matter of just being able to access the information, having the ability to access it. For instance, I think it was the telephone. Two different people. So, two different people in completely different parts of the world, completely different countries, not able before. So, like before the internet, before the telephone, two different people came up with the exact same idea, the exact same invention. They both came up with the exact same invention on the exact same day. They wrote it down on paper, and they both went to have their patent created, have their idea established so that someone else couldn't steal it, right? They both went and had this same idea patented on the exact same day. There's record that this happened. The thing is, they were like submitted an hour or two apart. It was like, I think it was like an hour and some odd minutes or something like that apart, that these two people submitted patents for the exact same thing. Like, why specifically, like, if two people are gonna come up with the same thing, right, why not, like, one person working on it, oh, I've been working on this for like a month, and then someone else comes up with it, oh, I've been working on this for like a day. No, they both came up with the same idea around the same time. It only took them like a day or so to write up their, like, design their idea and then submit it. And it was at the exact, like, not the exact same time, but it was close enough for it to not really matter. Like, what do you mean two different people in two different parts of the world that couldn't have copied off each other? They couldn't have copied each other's work, and they both came up with the exact same thing, a telephone, to communicate long distances, and had basically the exact same idea, the exact same design. And this knowledge, you're trying to say that this knowledge isn't out there, it's not readily available, and they didn't just Muses really needed to get that done, I guess. Yeah. So, like, it's the thought is that it's the knowledge is just out there, and potentially anyone could access it, but some people have an easier time accessing the Akashic record. Some people aren't on the level. You know, there's various things that supposedly can hinder your progress at being able to astral project or have out-of-body experiences. If you're sick, for instance, it's supposed to be harder. You're supposed to eat, like, healthy. If you eat junk food, it's supposed to hinder you being able to have out-of-body experiences or access the Akashic record. If you meditate, it's supposed to help. Like, there's a bunch of different stuff, but, like, there's similar to reincarnation. There's enough proof out there that, like, you're gonna try and say that this doesn't exist, that this isn't a thing, right? There's enough evidence to kind of prove that it, at least something of that extent, does exist. Every level of concentration increases skill XP by an additional 1. Definitely buy those. Enchanted bow. Every level of strength increases damage by an additional 1%. New skills. Unlock mana arrows. Rapidly shoot arrows made of mana. Is not affected by strength level. Unlock new equipment. Unlock new talent. Okay. So now we have mana arrows. I think they do more damage. Oh. Oh, we have regular arrows and mana arrows. Okay. Unlock criticals. Every third normal arrow is critical. Criticals deal bigger damage and unlocks new equipment. Every 10 mana arrows shoot an additional arrow made of fire. It's not affected by strength level. Okay. Swarm. Every arrow striking the target increases damage done to the target by 1. Interesting. Oh, so mana arrows, so training mana arrows increases our speed, our attack speed. Stronger targets, parallel targets. Increase our bow. Let's train our mana arrows for more attack speed. It seems we get gold every time we break one of the targets. We get a bit of gold. Magic quiver. Every level of draw speed increases fire rate by an additional 1%. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, like, personally, some things, like, I don't believe, I personally am not religious. I do not believe in any God. I do not believe in the devil. I do not believe in any specific God. I believe that there may have been, at some point, some form of being that might have created us and decided, hey, you guys are good on your own. We're just gonna leave now, and you can do your thing. And they may have been that may be what we consider gods, but I don't believe there is, like, the idea of the all-knowing, omnipotent, omnipresent God that is constantly watching over our shoulder and constantly with us, always with us. I don't believe that. I do not believe that is true. But disappointed with their creation, so they peaced out. Probably. One of my thoughts, one of my theories, is that, for instance, you guys are on your own. You suck so much. For instance, we'll take Thor, for instance, okay? Thor may have very well been, he was Norse. We know, well, the story of Thor comes from the Norse. So we'll say the Norse region. Maybe there was a guy that he was a bodybuilder, or he just a blacksmith. He got so buff, so strong, and his favorite weapon was this big ass hammer. This big ass, like a giant sledgehammer, essentially. Big thickums. And whenever he went into battle with it, and he would swing that hammer, it would smash against a wooden shield, because most shields at the time were probably wooden. So it would smash against a wooden shield. And what happens when a big ass hammer hits a wooden shield? That wood is gonna fracture and split. And when it splits, between the sound of the hammer hitting the wood and the sound of the wood cracking and splitting, it's gonna make a big ass thud, like a huge crack of lightning, or a huge crack of thunder, right? It's gonna sound across the battlefield. You're gonna be able to hear this for miles. The echoing boom of this hammer hitting a shield, right? So legend grows about this guy that wields a hammer, and because he's a bodybuilder or a blacksmith or something, and this is a huge hammer, not everyone's going to be able to wield it. So legend grows about this guy that is able to wield a hammer and swing it around while no one else can. And the more he swings it, the more he's going to build up the muscle to be able to swing it. And he's just going to be able to swing it more and more and more. And so legend grows about this guy, and eventually he becomes a god. Achilles, for instance. Now Achilles didn't quite reach god status, but he was a demigod. I can imagine that, but isn't bodybuilding a recent thing? Yes, bodybuilding with, like, specifically using weights and targeting specific muscles is a recent thing. But I doubt that there weren't people in ancient times that were like, hey, I got nothing to do, let's pick up these cows and lift these cows, one on each arm, and like, for instance, sailors granted, like, not necessarily bodybuilding, people trying to sculpt a body, but like, god damn it, sailors, for instance, are constantly, maybe not so much in the Navy, but like old-time sailors, there's gonna be people that practice things, or they do a job so frequently that they become super skilled at it. Like, think of the Popeye the Sailor Man, right? The old time sailors, they were constantly like pirate days and stuff. They were constantly lugging ropes. They were constantly manning the sails. They had to pull a rope for hours, not hours, but they had to pull a rope for like 10 minutes to get the. I love how Popeye is your example. They had to pull a rope for like 10 minutes to be able to pull the sail in, because they needed to bring the sails down because of a storm, or oh, the storm has passed, so now I need to let the sails out. But if the sail goes out too quickly, it's gonna topple the boat, so it has to be let out slowly against stress, against strain, right? So like you're constantly using your muscles. You're not bodybuilding per se, but you're constantly using your muscles. So you're going to build up a lot of endurance. You're going to build up a lot of muscle by doing this act repeatedly, right? So like through that exact nature, sailors become really strong. They end up super strong because they're constantly doing something that requires muscle, right? So they build up the muscle to do it better. So I do not think it's impossible for instance, back in ancient times, a man or woman, a warrior, to train and to train constantly. They train every day, all day. All they do is train, and they become so skilled that they seek out training partners that are better and stronger. They seek out training partners that they can enhance their own skill by training against. And as they fight each of these new partners, they learn new things. They learn new body movement, their own new body movements. They learn how to read an opponent's body movements. They know how to read an opponent's eye movements. They know, like, oh, hey, he looked that way. Every time that every opponent has looked that specific direction, I know that they're going to do this, right? That they're going to feint right, but they're really going to go left, right? Like, and you build up not only muscle memory, you build up mental growth through each of these training encounters. And okay, so you've trained a lot. Great, good deal. But now you put that into actual battle, and that training has that training now leads to you being a professional killer in battle. And because you've trained so much and you've gained experience over countless battles now from your training. You've been through a few wars, you've gained experience, and legend starts to grow about this guy who no one can defeat. He can't be touched. He's impervious. No one can hit him with a sword. Like, he's just too good. and then you end up with Achilles, and some you end up with the story of Achilles, a legend that grows and grows, and then eventually, from across the battlefield, some stray arrow punctures his foot, and then because he died from a wound to his foot, then stories circulate and grow about how his entire body was dipped in the river Styx. That's why no one could damage him, because his entire body was immortal except for his foot to heal. And he died because of the wound, the arrow to his heel. So naturally, the Achilles heel is his only weakness, right? So what started off as a mere man becomes what starts off as a mere man who, while yes, a mere man, he was skilled at what he did, and he did what he loved and was really good at it, right? So like, the legend grows and grows and grows, and the legend gets bigger until he becomes not just a mere man, but a god or a demigod in Achilles' case. Hercules, or the story of Samson is a little bit different, or harder to refute, because like a man who is super strong through his own accord, suddenly losing his strength because his hair is gone is, I mean, that's a lot harder to dispute. I'm not saying that Samson was real, or that the story is real or not real. It's just like it's easier to explain someone like, for instance, Hercules, a mere man who decided, hey, I want to be jacked, and lifting things and putting them down all day. Fucking, I got a cart here. I'm gonna push this cart back and forth across my yard 20 times a day until it's easy, and then I'm gonna do it 40 times a day until it's easy, and then I'm gonna do it 100 times a day until it's easy. And hey, I got these milk jugs. Let's lift and put down these milk jugs, right? And with enough boredom, a person is going to find something to do, and without technology, generally the things that people boil down to are either you make something or you work on your body. You either you either work out, you lift stuff up and put things down, or you create some form of artistry. You make you make a guitar so that you can make music, or you make a chair, or you make a table. You craft something, right? Like eventually you get bored enough that you find something to do, because you got to think, at this time there was no internet or phone, or there was no TV to watch a TV show or movie to distract you. It's just you get real bored and you find something to do. Oh man, the speed. We like zoned out while we were talking and forgot to like focus on other things here, and we just hard focused mana arrows for the attack speed, for the crazy attack speed. I'm too distracting. I mean, like, not that you're too distracting. It's just that when I'm not passionate about religion at all. I don't believe in religion. I do not. While there is evidence that people, we're gonna have ads coming up in a moment, so I'll wait until you come back from ads. There's one benefit to religion that I see, and I'll get to it in a moment when you come back from ads. Increase our damage. Critical arrows. Oh my god, that is going up so fast. Increase damage. Increase fire rate. Amulet of fire increases fire damage. Stronger targets for 4,000. Oh, are they going to give us more money though? Yeah, they do give us more money. Armored targets. Talents, Swarm, Spitfire. For Spitfire. Let's get that. 10 mana arrows shoot an additional arrow made of fire. Increases fire damage. For parallel targets too. Just one extra target. So we don't have enough power yet to. In my experience, religious people tend to be the strongest argument against religion. I find that when people when someone settles into a religion, oftentimes they become blind to anything else and only see what their religion tells them. They can only see how their religion is correct and everyone else's religion is wrong. The one thing that I've found that is a positive about religion is that it has been scientifically proven through, well, I don't know so much through science, but through it has been proven through studies, through testing, through research, with focus groups and stuff, that while it does not appear to matter what religion, the sole deciding factor is that when someone has a religion, a faith in a higher power, that there is a higher power that believes and wants the best for them, when they believe that there is a higher power that has a plan in mind, those people, regardless of what religion, as long as they have a religion and they have a faith in a higher power, that there's a plan, that there's a reason to everything, that this being wants the best for them, they are happier in life and less depressed. They are less likely to suffer from depression, and they generally feel happier with their life and in life than those who do not have a religion or a faith that they believe in a higher power that they can put not so much blame, but a higher power that they can put everything off on. That's the one thing that I've come to learn that I feel is a benefit to any form of religion, is that having a faith in a higher power that has your betterment in mind, it seems to make people happier than otherwise. So but I personally, I while I have no, I am not religious, and I do not believe in any god or deity. I believe that I do not believe that people just came up with these deities out of nowhere. I believe that these deities were created because of something. For instance, a lot of indigenous cultures across the world have spoken of beings in their past that came down from the stars. And these beings from their past, while they worship them as gods, they are very adamant that these were not beings from the heaven. They're beings that came down from outside of this world. That they came down from the sky, from the stars. That they're not a fictional being like the god that the Christian God that is not there. They were flesh and blood beings that they could interact with. And I believe that there may have at some point been these beings that that became what we know of as gods. Like how just about every society has contrived their form of dragons. Yeah. A lot of I hate to say the ancient alien theory, but a lot of cultures have for long times, like thousands of years, have talked about what ancient alien theory. A lot of cultures for thousands of years, like indigenous peoples, have talked about the stuff like the Thunderbird or dragons, phoenixes, winged things that had fire and smoke billowing out from them, vehicles of some sort. Like, they've talked about there's an emperor from a Chinese emperor that he was literally, they talk about him coming down from the sky and he stepped out of the mouth of a dragon, or the belly of a dragon. He literally, they talk about this emperor that rode a dragon down from the sky, and he stepped out of the belly of a dragon, and they talk about the fire and smoke everywhere. What? Like, with our knowledge, with the knowledge that they had at the time, they didn't know what a rocket was. They didn't know what a plane was, right? They didn't know what a spaceship was. So they came up with something. They created something. They used terms that they already had, and they they called it a dragon, or they called it a phoenix, or a thunderbird. They used terms, they used things to, what did you call, what did I call what? The aliens? I didn't call the aliens anything. I didn't call, the Akashic record is the entire archive of the universe's knowledge, is the Akashic record. Akashic record. That's the they accessed the Akashic record. They accessed the Akashic record and was like, this is a dragon. This is a dragon. Yup. But like, we now know if someone was like, hey, this thing came down out of the sky, and there was smoke and fire everywhere. There was like a huge stream of fire, and there's smoke all over the place, and it made this loud roaring noise. I mean, nowadays we'd be like, huh, okay, that kind of sounds like maybe a rocket, maybe a space shuttle. That kind of sounds like a rocket or a plane or space shuttle, right? We know of things nowadays, that we know of technology nowadays that fit those descriptions. So we have words we have names for those things now. But back then, they didn't have names for, I mean, they did. They called them dragons or thunderbirds. The thunderbird was this giant bird that every time it came around, you would hear the thunder, the loud booming noise, and it would swoop down, and it would pick up children or people, adults, children. It would swoop off with them, and they'd never be seen again, right? And there was always fire and smoke and loud booming. That sounds like a rocket or a plane or a dragon. I think his name was the Yellow Emperor, maybe. I don't remember. But the Chinese emperor who came down to China riding a dragon and stepped out of the belly of a dragon. It sounds like a rocket or a space shuttle, a plane that landed in a ton of smoke and fire and a ton of roaring. It sounds like what we now know as a rocket. It's not that hard, guys. It's not hard. Every 3 critical hits, unleash your inner ki, infusing 20 arrows with powerful energy. Ooh. Life Force increases amount of key arrows released by 5. Ooh. I see the key arrows. That's cool. Swarm. Spitfire. But you mentioned that you're very distracting. It's not so much that you're very distracting. It's more so that once you get me talking about something that I'm passionate about or interested in, I I oftentimes tend to like become it becomes all encompassing, kind of. I forget that other things exist. I forget, like, for instance, I'll be I'll be co-oping with Alucard, and I get talking about something, and I forget that Alucard is there, and I'm wasting his time when I could be taking my turn. Instead, I sit there and talk, and he's like, "You're not taking your turn. Take your turn." I'm very bad about it. It's so bad. But when I'm passionate about something, I forget that anything else exists. And while I hate to use the term ancient aliens or ancient aliens theory, because there's a TV show called Ancient Aliens, and for anyone that doesn't know, it has kind of become somewhat of a meme. While there is some stuff in it, there's some information in it that they talk about that that has some merit or some substance behind it. There's a lot of things that they say in it or speculate that are just that just seem very, very out there. A lot of the time, it's like, why is this rock here? Why is there a rock on the ground? Because ancient aliens. Because aliens came from outer space 10,000 years ago, and they put this rock, this 2 foot, not even this fist-sized rock. Ancient aliens, or aliens 10,000 years ago, came down from outer space, and they put this fist-sized rock here in this exact place for you to find it 10,000 years later. Why? Because aliens. That's why, guys. Because aliens. Why not? Because aliens. That's why. It's become it. While they do talk about some things that do have merit, there's just so much in it that it's just bad. But yeah, I am very, while I'm not religious, and I don't believe in any specific god or deity, I do believe that like, for instance, what I said about Achilles and Thor, or that there was at some point a god that maybe there was at some point a being that created humankind and was like, hey, you guys seem to be doing good now. You can find food, you've got shelter, you've got fire. You're good now. I'm gonna go home now. I've been away from my home for hundreds of years. I'm tired of living here, so I want to go home. Okay, so bye. You can fend for yourself now. Bye. And they pieced the fuck off and went back to their own home, wherever they came from. Every 3 critical hits, unleash your inner key, infusing 20 arrows with powerful energy. Stronger targets, more targets. Ooh, they're paint targets now? Spectral arrows. Every 4 fire arrows shoot spectral arrows at all targets. Unlock axe arrows? What? Axe arrows? Okay. I'm about it. Okay. Axe arrows. Shoot an axe from our bow. Spectral arrows. Ooh. We're making music now. We're making music now. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I hope that this learning segment with Corrado has been good for you. I hope that it was fruitful for you, that you learned something on our TED Talk, Learning with Corrado. I hope that you take something away from this learning segment with Corrado. I hope that you have new insight into the world at large. I learned you're a godless heretic. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, whatever will I do? The funniest thing that the thing I find funniest about Christians or like so like when I oftentimes when I tell a Christian that I am not religious, they're like, "Oh no, you're gonna go to hell. You're gonna suffer everlasting torment in hell. Oh no, God's gonna send you to hell because you don't believe in him. You'll suffer everlasting torment forever and ever. It'll never end in hell."
Okay? That's okay. I don't believe in your God. That also means I don't believe in your hell either, so I don't believe in your hell. I'm not worried about suffering everlasting torment in your hell that I don't believe exists. It doesn't exist to me, so I'm not worried about it.
That's my take. It always strikes me so funny when because whenever a Christian hears that, whenever I tell a Christian that I'm not religious or I don't believe in God, it's always, that's the first thing is, oh no, you're gonna burn in hell. I'm like, I don't believe in your hell, so I don't care. Just tell them Jesus died for you too, so you're good. Your sins are forgiven. Yeah. But see, like, there's also, like, while the Bible says that Jesus died for your sins and that no matter what you do, you are forgiven because Jesus died for you. It's always brought up that you have to believe in God. You have to take God as your savior. You have to take Jesus as your savior, and you have to accept Jesus. You have to accept God, which while I could be wrong. But I don't think the Bible actually says that at any point, aside from there are the Ten Commandments. I don't remember if it was the original Ten Commandments, because there's two sets of Ten Commandments. There's the original set, which was destroyed, and then there's the second set that Moses, Abraham. Not Noah, that was brought down. There's the second set that was brought down, that was brought down from the mountain. There was the first set that was I think it's Abraham. He was like, "This is fucking ridiculous! Smash! No!" And then he was given the second set of commandments and brought those down to the people. And so the Moses, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of people in the Bible, okay? There's a lot. There's at least at least 5 people in the Bible, okay? Forgive me for mixing up names. There's at least 5. I'm bad with names, okay? I'm bad with names. There's at least 5 of them in the Bible. I know one of the 10 commandments. I don't remember if it was. It might have been the set that was brought down. But there's something about you shall not take. Do not worship any false idols. But like that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to believe in. That doesn't mean you have to believe in God or Jesus to get into heaven. Like there, as far as I can remember, I don't think there is anywhere that it explicitly says you must believe in God and accept Jesus to get into heaven. I could be wrong, but I was 7 years old when I was taught catechism. Do you know what? Okay, I don't know how old I was, but I was a kid when I read the Noah's Ark story and was like, huh, this boat has a fixed size. This boat is not taking up the entire world, and this boat is gonna house all two of every animal. But see, not only does this boat house two of every animal, it also houses lions and tigers and zebras and antelopes. And those lions and tigers are not eating the zebras and antelopes. They don't eat them. They get along. They get along totally fine because God wills it. God says, "Hey guys, you need to chill out. You can't eat the other ones, okay? You can't eat the other passengers, okay? You're not allowed. Just don't eat the other guys, and we're good, okay?" But there's food. There's enough food on the boat, on the ark, for Noah, for Noah and his family, and all the animals. Okay, so there's enough food. There's enough food for all these animals. There's enough hay for the zebras and antelope. There's enough hay for the giraffes. There's enough meat. There's enough meat for the lions and tigers and hyenas and cheetahs. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot. There's going to be so much food. There's going to be so much food. More food on the ark than there is animals. There's going to be so much food. So much food. And now the ark has a finite size. It's not a TARDIS. It's not bigger on the inside. It's smaller. It is in fact smaller on the inside than it is on the outside. So like, where the fuck are you keeping all of this food for all of these animals. The only way that the ark makes sense, okay? There's one way that the ark makes sense. Okay, there is one way. The ark was a spaceship, and all of the animals on the ark were just DNA samples. And after the flood, they were recreated from the DNA samples. That's the only way. That's the only way you are fitting 2 of every animal on the ark that is the dimensions are given. That's the only way you're fitting 2 of every animal on this ship. And having, like, if they're alive, you need food. If they're alive, you have to deal with them eating each other. Like, it does not make sense. The only way that it works is a spaceship with like DNA samples. I mean, it could have been like an actual ship, like a boat ship, but all the animals are still DNA samples that are like maybe cryogenically frozen or something. I don't fucking know, but only gotta be DNA samples, because apparently I can talk words and stuff. Words are hard, okay, guys? Words are hard. Forgive me. Forgive me for forgetting how to word. I feel like I need to increase the damage at this point now. More damage. Oh man, look at the damage that our regular arrows are doing. So little damage. Oh, humans would also be horribly inbred, and animals would be horribly inbred as well. Do you know what's interesting? So the Christian Bible, okay? There are certain books, chapters, sections, certain sections of the Bible, certain, what are they actually called? Like the named sections, like Genesis, Exodus, Ezekiel. They're called something. I forget what they're called, but there's certain sections of the Bible that that throughout the years, books, maybe, yeah, certain sections of the Bible, books of the Bible, that throughout the years have been deemed too dangerous for humanity to be able to read, and as such have been removed from most Bibles. There are old versions of the Bible, such as it was found there was the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls is a very old version of the Bible that was discovered relatively recently, like 90s, I think. And it was it has like a bunch of like all of the books of the Bible, but there's some books in it that are not included in the Bibles we have nowadays. There's also there's a religion, a Christian religion that I've heard about in Africa, somewhere in Africa, in like Ethiopia or something. I don't know, Nigeria, maybe. I don't know, somewhere in Africa. There's a Christian religion that still has some of the older books in their Bible, and some of the things that have been removed from the current Bible are that before Adam and Eve, there was Adam and Lilith. And Lilith was she was made, she wasn't made from Adam. She was made from the same dust as Adam. So she was made equal to Adam. She had autonomy, yes. And she was willful. She was willful and had a mind of her own. She was not subservient to Adam. So therefore, she had to be gotten rid of. She was cast out. I believe she was cast out of the Garden of Eden. And not because of breaking the law, but because she was willful and did not fit the desired I don't know. She didn't fit the desired outcome, so she was I believe she was cast out of the Garden of Eden and sent to wander. Now, in the Bible, in the Bible we have currently, it talks about, so Adam and Eve had two sons that were named Cain and Abel. I don't know about you guys, but when I learned about procreation, I was taught that it takes a man and a woman to make more babies. So we have Adam and Eve. Adam eventually dies, probably. Cain murdered Abel. So like, Abel ain't having no children because he's dead. So we got Cain and we got Eve. So it doesn't say, the Bible doesn't explicitly say that Cain had sex with his mother. Or that Eve had any other children. The Bible doesn't say Eve had any other children. Just Cain and Abel. But Cain has more children. So Adam and Eve's lineage carries on through Cain. And where did those children come from? If not Eve, where did those children come from? What woman? Where did Cain's children come from? Because it wasn't with Abel. It wasn't with with Adam. Because as far as we're aware, that doesn't work. Supposedly, it wasn't with Eve. And, like, they'd be inbred as fuck. But where did his kids come from? So, according to older Bibles, Lilith's children, Lilith's progeny, Lilith had children, and they procreated, and they expanded, and the belief is that Cain either had children with Lilith or with Lilith's progeny. Lilith's descendants. But Lilith had children with whom? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know who Lilith had children with. Possibly, maybe Lilith had a kid with Adam, but that had to be removed from the Bible. I don't know. It had to be removed because Lilith was removed, so they couldn't have the kid without the mother, right? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who Lilith had kids with, but the Lilith's line, they would still be inbred. Yeah. There is also though the Watchers. So some of the ancient texts, some of the ancient versions of the Bible, one of them, excuse me, is the Book of Enoch. And in the Book of Enoch, it talks about, Enoch talks about being brought up into, so he talks about climbing a ladder into heaven and being brought up above the world, above the earth, and being able to see everything, see the entirety of the earth, basically. And what is essentially described is someone climbing a ladder or a staircase into a spaceship and being brought into outer space and being able to see Earth and the other planets in the solar system, and then being brought back to Earth, and seeing like the control panel and everything of this spaceship. this text, this book, was deemed heretical and dangerous to humanity. So therefore, it was removed from the Bible. Because it's, I mean, it's basically talking about an ancient person from the Bible being abducted by aliens, essentially. Right? So, like, we can't have that, right? I think it's in Genesis, in one of the older Bibles. It talks about the Watchers, and the Watchers were a group of angels, quote unquote angels, that they deemed humankind to be beautiful. Their job, their sole job, was to watch over humanity. That was all they were to do, was to watch over humanity. And they found humankind to be beautiful and decided to mate with humankind. They found specifically, they found the women, the human women, to be beautiful and decided to mate with them. And the result was the result of these Watchers mating with human women was a thing called a race of beings called the Nephilim, which were part angel, part human, but they were described as being essentially gigantic. If you think of, like, the story of David and Goliath, giant, like, they were giants. They were very large, like, I don't know how tall, but like 20-foot tall beings, something like that. I don't fucking know. They were giants, essentially. And they were the spawn of the Watchers and the human women. And then between the acts at Sodom and Gomorrah, the things that the race of the Nephilim, the Watchers mating with humankind and creating Nephilim, and between that and like just outright disgust with what humankind had become, that was why the flood happened. Was not just to erase humankind, but to also erase the Nephilim from the earth, to wipe out the Nephilim from the earth and start to start over fresh, because the Nephilim were not intended. They were an unintended consequence of leaving the Watchers in charge of these naked women, and the vaginas of the vaginas and boobs of these naked women were too powerful. They were too powerful for the Watchers. They could not handle seeing these boobs. They had to grasp them. They had to cup them in their hands, and thus we ended up with the Nephilim. And it needed to be purged, so that we ended up with the flood. So you're welcome for more learning with Corrado. I hope you enjoyed this segment of learning with Corrado while we play an incremental game. While we let an incremental game play itself in the background, while we learn with Corrado. Every 20 mana arrows shoot one portal arrow at a random target. Okay. Oh, that's the portal arrow up there. Higher dimension, spawn an extra portal. Every 20 spectral arrows shoot 5 additional random spectral arrows. Is it really that bad? Like or is it just like fit to screen? Like, why is it literally, like, so much of it is cut off? I don't know why. I don't know why. There's like, there's a bunch here that's cut off. Like the left side of the screen is cut off, and the right side of the screen is cut off, and it's like that for me as well. I kind of know why it is for me, because my TV's weird, but I don't know why. I don't know why it's cut off so much for you guys as well. did I did not rinse my cup after our hot chocolate. Yum. Water, mostly 99% water with a little bit of chocolate. Okay, so it looks like you guys are back from ads. I know Kaladmir has been hanging out with us, but for anyone else who has been here, I hope you guys have enjoyed another segment of Learning with Corrado. I hope that you have learned something today. I hope that you enjoyed our TED Talk and that it was fruitful for you. We talked about what did we talk about today? We talked about gods, we talked about demigods, we talked about religion, reincarnation, the Buddha. We talked about angels, hell and heaven. We talked about Thor. We talked about Achilles. We talked about the river Styx. We talked about the Watchers. We talked about the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Akashic Record. We talked about what's her name? Something Beatty? What was her name? Dorothy Eady. We talked about Dorothy Eady, who was the reincarnated priestess, Egyptian priestess. Priestess. We talked about the Nephilim. We talked about so many things today on Learning with Corrado. I hope you enjoyed this segment. So we've got all the skills we can so far. Let's shoot 5 additional random spectral arrows. I think. These spectral arrows, every 4 fire arrows shoot spectral arrows at all targets. I think those are the white arrows. Life force, increase amount of key arrows released by 5. So the key arrows are that thudding sound. That there. Swarm.
don't even know. Ice arrows. Every 5 fire arrows shoot ice arrows at all targets. Every 3 critical hits, unleash your inner key, infusing 20 arrows with powerful energy. Is there something that every 3rd normal arrow is critical? Every 3 normal arrows is a critical. And then it's not, so 9 normal arrows is key. Higher dimension for an extra portable. Spitfire. Stronger targets. I don't know if, although that would, because like once targets start dying, they all kind of die at the same time. Sorry, we had to blow our nose. What to know about glaucoma as case is expected to rise to 1.6 million, I think it said. It was random pop-up on my screen from Google or something. I don't know. It was news stuff. Oh no, I think our oh there. I was gonna say, I think our money, our profit dipped. Let's, what? Is that spectral arrows? Spectral arrows, yeah. Armored targets. Every arrow striking the target increases damage done to the target by 1. that? I wish I could get rid of this altogether. This, because I don't need, I've got all the skills, so I don't need that anymore. Congrats, you've unlocked all of the upgrades. You may keep going, but you cleared the content for now. Dimension Amulet increases damage by an additional 1%. So we just keep destroying. I guess we just... Where's my mouse? So I guess we just keep destroying targets and keep getting money and keep buying more upgrades until we get tired. Every 5 arrows, shoot 5 axe arrows. I wish I could see the axe arrows, because I don't even see any axe arrows. Do not see the axe arrows, even axing. Skill experience. That's probably our food. Okay, that is indeed our food. So that is going to be all for learning with Corrado today. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you, Kaladmir, for being here so long. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for chatting with me and keeping me entertained. I hope it was enjoyable for you. It was enjoyable for me. Thank you, Avon, for playing Lords of the Fallen with us. Thank you, Oz. Thank you, Oz, for the biddies today. Ozpin is doing some... Ozpin is working out. Oh no, he's stopped working out. Show me the... As much as working out is good for you, we are not about the working out streams, so we are going to raid out to Alucard today. Show him some love in chat, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Have a good day, Kaladmir.
Load, please.